It's pretty much been standard operating procedure our whole lives. If you're born in the US, you get citizenship. Done. No questions. Not only that, but all forms of immigration were a good thing. Our elementary school teachers even taught us a song about it. You remember the one? This land is your land, this land is my land. But with illegal immigration as a top issue in this past election, people are more comfortable with challenging immigration law and peripheral arguments such as birthright citizenship. Voters wanted a secure border, but should we end this long-standing tradition? Thanks for stopping by NPC Overrider, where we challenge mainstream source code to develop independent thought, one user story at a time. Let's log into the NPC environment and take a look at the 14th Amendment coding and see whether President Trump's executive order to end birthright citizenship was constitutional. Okay, let's take a quick look at the default NPC programming here. Number 1, birthright citizenship is enshrined in the Constitution. Number 2, birthright citizenship prevents a permanent underclass. Number 3, birthright citizenship aligns with American values. Number 4, ending birthright citizenship would create tons of legal issues. And lastly, ending birthright citizenship would lead to serious economic and social consequences. Statement number 1 says birthright citizenship is enshrined in the Constitution. Section 1 of the 14th Amendment reads, all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. The precedent was further enshrined into law in 1898 during the Wong Kim Ark Supreme Court decision about a Chinese American born child who was denied re-entry into the U.S. after taking a trip to China to visit family. The court ruled in Wong Kim's favor. Statement number 2, birthright citizenship prevents a permanent underclass. If we don't grant citizenship to babies born in the U.S., we risk creating a permanent underclass as those children would be stateless. While they may attempt to apply for citizenship in their parents' country of origin, this process can often be challenging and lengthy, if even possible. This legal limbo would make it hard for kids to access basic needs such as healthcare, education, and employment. After a generation, this would create massive social inequality, a lack of rights, and no place for these kids or people later in life to call home. Statement number 3, birthright citizenship aligns with American values. As immigrants built America, it makes sense that we continue to welcome outsiders that create pathways to equality via birthright citizenship. The Declaration of Independence states all men are created equal, and to deny the rights of those born in the U.S. flies in the face of those values. Statement number 4, ending birthright citizenship would create tons of legal issues. Ending birthright citizenship would create a bureaucratic nightmare among government agencies, as they would have to manage people on a caste system similar to how they do it in India. Not to mention inflating the black market with documentation fraud, which could drive immigrants into the criminal justice system, thus further widening the equality gap. Statement number 5, ending birthright citizenship would come with serious economic and social consequences. Not only did immigrants build this country, but they continue to improve on its foundation. Ending birthright citizenship would harm the economy, as fewer people would be able to participate in the workforce, marketplace, and contribute to the tax pool. All right, let's override that programming because birthright citizenship is unconstitutional. Let's check out the supporting statements. Number 1, the constitutional foundation for birthright citizenship is misinterpreted. Number 2, birthright citizenship encourages illegal immigration. Number 3, birthright citizenship creates economic and social burdens. Number 4, birthright citizenship creates national security risks. And number 5, abolishing birthright citizenship would incentivize legal immigration, leading to a safer nation overall. Statement number 1, the constitutional foundation for birthright citizenship is misinterpreted. The primary aim of the 14th Amendment was to overturn the Dred Scott v. Sanford decision of 1857, which ruled that former slaves could not be citizens. Let's check out the 14th Amendment once again. All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. Senator Lyman Trumbull of Illinois, chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee, says, subject to the jurisdiction means subject to the complete jurisdiction, meaning not owing allegiance to any other authority. Since illegal immigrants have not sworn allegiance to the United States via the legal immigration process, birthright citizenship does not apply to their offspring. To quote the Attorney General in the 1872 Supreme Court slaughterhouse cases, the word jurisdiction must be understood to mean absolute and complete jurisdiction, such as the United States had over its citizens before the adoption of this amendment. Aliens, among whom are persons born here and naturalized abroad, dwelling or being in this country, are subject to the jurisdiction of the United States only to a limited extent. Statement number 2, birthright citizenship encourages illegal immigration. To allow anyone access to full U.S. citizenship for simply being born in the U.S., even if the mother is here illegally, it's a hell of an incentive to get pregnant in the U.S. or just happen to arrive here sometime before giving birth. Since U.S. citizens can sponsor work visas and green cards for non-citizens, these anchor babies, so-called, can begin what we call chain migrating, where they can assist family members in getting citizenship in the future. Statement number 3, birthright citizenship creates economic and social burdens. Not only do the children of legal immigrants get U.S. citizenship, but they also get the full buffet of social services, including health care and general welfare benefits. All courtesy of, you guessed it, the American taxpayer. Sure, it says funding is not available for illegals here, but the government, with the wave of a wand, as J.D. Vance said in the debate, magically designated illegals as legal migrants through the now defunct CBP app, such as categorizing them as refugees or political prisoners or whatever they want to call them. Down the line, after illegal immigrants plant anchor babies in the country, illegal family members compete for jobs with American citizens. Statement number 4. Birthright citizenship creates national security risks. What national security risk do we present by allowing anyone from anywhere to create their own U.S. citizen? If people from adversarial nations can simply send an 8-month pregnant Russian or Chinese woman to New York for a couple of months and move them back home after they have their U.S. citizenship paperwork, they could train that person to become a spy and send them back years later. Statement number 5. Abolishing birthright citizenship would incentivize legal immigration, leading to a safer nation overall. Without birthright citizenship, foreigners are less likely to exploit legal loopholes, which would encourage people to seek the legal means, which would in turn help us filter out questionable people who potentially should not be here. You know, I had a little bit of an upsetting moment when I was researching this topic, specifically with the lyrics to This Land Is Your Land. I found it was written by Woody Guthrie, a communist sympathizer, in 1944 to protest the song God Bless America, written by Irving Berlin, but later popularized on the radio by Kate Smith and the 1943 musical film This Is the Army. By the way, you can see that Guthrie was a founding Antifa member. He said he was tired of hearing that song on the radio. In 1944, as the war raged on, he was tired of hearing God Bless America. Unbelievable. According to Wikipedia, he sarcastically called the song God Blessed America for Me before renaming it to This Land Is Your Land. Of course, you might assume I shouldn't be surprised. I mean, the lyrics don't exactly scream capitalism. But it was just a kid's song to me. We sung it in class, and I never thought anything of it. Only it wasn't a kid's song. It was a dirty communist ballad. But, it's just another example of how the American public school system turned up the frog water just one more degree, which would soon be followed up with having us cease stating the Pledge of Allegiance before class. But why? All to teach students that we shouldn't celebrate our country as a nation or its borders, and we should treat it as a global free-for-all for people to come and take whatever they want. Like much of the Constitution, leftists have been bending its words to suit their needs, and I doubt that its authors would have foreseen hordes of people spilling into the country, incentivized to give birth on U.S. soil so they could get a free lunch. Canada, Mexico, and other nations do practice various forms of birthright citizenship or just solely. Nobody gets taken advantage of the way we do here in the States. Nobody has the same expectations. Over my lifetime, if we had enjoyed lower unemployment, lower crime, better economy, less drug use, and experienced overall social progress throughout my life, I might be more inclined to accept birthright citizenship or support looser immigration laws overall. But we haven't. Our major cities have turned to what looks like the next Resident Evil film as the crime rate skyrockets. The people taking advantage of our country, such as politicians, celebrities, and activists pushing for illegal immigration, have only proved that these liberal policies have been gutting our nation from the inside out. I'm sick of hearing these warmed over arguments about, bring us, you're tired and you're poor, and immigrants built this nation, save the refugees from persecution, blah, blah, blah. This land is not everyone's land. This land is our land. And there's nothing racist or insensitive about that position. I think Vice President J.D. Vance summed it up best in his recent interview with Margaret Brennan when he said the following.
Well, this is a country founded by immigrants.
Well, this is a country founded by...
This is a unique country.
This is a very unique country, and it was founded by some immigrants and some settlers. But just because we were founded by immigrants doesn't mean that 240 years later that we have to have the dumbest immigration policy in the world.
Well, that's going to do it for this version of NPC Overrider. I'm your lead engineer, Greg. Thanks so much for stopping by. If you want to help save the NPCs, please set the like button to true and share with a friend who needs to have their source code challenged. If you have an idea for a future release, please open up a ticket in the comments section. We'll get back to you ASAP. Also, please consider subscribing. We'd sure love to have you on our development team. But for now, we're going to shut down the office and grab a beer. Thanks again for stopping by. Have a great day.